Welcome to Lunch with the Lord. I'm Pastor Mark. We are in 1 Samuel. We're going to be starting in chapter 11 this lesson. But before we begin, Jeremiah 15:16, Thy words were found, and I did eat them, and thy word was unto me the joy and the rejoicing of my heart. Samuel is presented to the people as king. Most of the people, they like him, but there were some people who rejected him as the king. And now we come into chapter 11. And, here in chapter 11, we will see Saul's first opportunity to express himself as the king of Israel. The Ammonites set up camp to do battle with the people in Jabesh Gilead. The Ammonites are the descendants of the children of Ben-Ammi, who was the son born to Lot by his own second daughter. And we see that in Genesis 19, verse 38. Lot, Sodom and Gomorrah is destroyed. His wife looks back. She's turned to a pillar of salt. Lot is left with his two daughters. And he goes, make a long story short, he and his two daughters basically end up outside of the city of Zoar. The two daughters are wondering what's going to happen to us. Are we going to get married? So on and so forth. We need to raise up children, raise up seed for our father. So they basically get him drunk and sleep with him. The oldest one the first night, the younger one the second night. And it's the younger daughter. She gets pregnant by her father, and she names him Ben-Ammi, and he's the father of the Ammonites. Now, Lot was the nephew of Abraham. And Lot should have brought up his son, Ben-Ammi, to show respect unto the children of Abraham. But as we see, this didn't happen. Abraham was good to Lot. And Abraham saved Lot from the kings that came and warred against Sodom and Gomorrah. They took him captive. And Abraham delivers them out of those kings' hands. And when Ben-Ammi was born, he should have impressed upon him to be good unto Abraham's descendants. But that didn't happen. The land of the Ammonites was directly east of the Jordan River. It bordered the lands of Reuben and Gad and the half-tribe of Manasseh on the east side of the Jordan River. So the Gad and the half-tribe of Manasseh and Reuben, they decided they wanted to settle on the east side of the Jordan River, and Moses allowed them to. But Ammon, the children of Ammon, are on the border on the east side. They border these three tribes. The Ammonites' land was not taken by the children of Israel when they came to possess the promised land. And the reason why that it wasn't touched by the children of Israel is seen in Deuteronomy chapter 2 and verse 19, where God tells Moses to leave the children of Ammon alone. Because the land that they possessed, the children of Ammon possessed, was given by God to Lot for a possession. So when Moses and the children of Israel come up and they're getting ready to cross over over the Jordan River in the Promised Land, Gad and Manasseh, half-tribe Manasseh and Reuben, they want their plot on the east side of the Jordan River. Well, that's the same side as where the children of Ammon are. But God tells Moses, don't touch the Ammonites' land. Don't touch it. just leave it alone, because I've given that piece of land to Lot for a possession. Yes, the children of Israel could fight against the Ammonites if they were attacked, but they were not allowed by God to take any of their land. Now, in Judges chapter 11, in this chapter, this is one instance. I'm sorry, Judges chapter, I'm thinking of 1 Samuel 11. In Judges chapter 11, we see an instance where Jephthah, the judge, Jephthah, leads the children of Israel against the Ammonites who attacked them, and he defeats them. But again, he defeats them, but they don't touch their land. Now let's read verse 1. And it says, Then Nahash the Ammonite came up and encamped against Jabesh Gilead. And all the men of Jabesh said unto Nahash, Make a covenant with us, and we will serve you. Now, as I was studying this verse, I came across a commentator that said, listen to this, he said that there was additional information from the Dead Sea Scrolls that is not included in Bibles today. So I looked up, and you can too. I looked up, I went to Google, and I looked up 1 Samuel chapter 11, verse 1, Dead Sea Scrolls. And that's all you have to do. Go to Google and type in 1 Samuel chapter 11, verse 1, Dead Sea Scrolls. That's all you have to do. And sure enough, he was right. Many scholars believe that this information that was received from the Dead Sea Scroll findings should have been added to the original text that we have today. But it wasn't. Now, I'm going to tell you what the additional information is from the Dead Sea Scrolls. So I'm going to read what the Dead Sea Scrolls has the extra information that is in the Dead Sea Scrolls concerning 1 Samuel chapter 11, verse 1. And it says here, Now Nahash, king of the Ammonites, oppressed the Gadites and the Reubenites severely. He gouged out the right eye of all of them, and there was no one to save Israel. There did not, listen to this, there did not remain an Israelite man who was beyond the Jordan, whose right eye Nahash, the king of Ammonites, did not gouge out, except 7,000 men who escaped from the hand of the Ammonites. And they went to Jabesh Gilead, and they were there for about a month. Now, after this, then begins what is written in 1 Samuel, what we have in our Bible, 1 Samuel chapter 11, verse 1. Now, if what is written in the Dead Sea Scrolls is actually true, then this gives us an amazing insight into the seriousness of the situation in Jabesh Gilead. Is it really possible that all the men of Israel on the east side of the Jordan River had their right eyes taken out? Again, I'm not... if it's true, then why didn't the other tribes on the west of the Jordan come and help them? Again, I'm not saying it's not true. But if this is true, it's possible that every single man from the tribe of Gad and Reuben and the half tribe of Manasseh, that over time the Ammonites came in and gouged out their right eyes and they didn't maybe not take control of the land, but they were overseeing the land, and they had control somewhat there in that land. Now, I choose to approach this information, this new information from Dead Sea Scrolls, as a possibility, and I'm hesitating to see it yet as a fact. It may be, again, it may be fact, but I'm just approaching this as a possibility from of what the Dead Sea Scrolls said. Now, concerning Jabesh Gilead, this city is located about 9 miles east of the Jordan River. Remember, we're on the other side of the Jordan River now, not on the promised land side of the Jordan River. We're on the unpromised land side of the Jordan River. In the territory of the half-tribe of Manasseh. Now, it's about halfway where Jabesh Gilead, if you see the Dead Sea, where the Dead Sea is, and the Sea of Galilee, Jabesh Gilead is about halfway up, maybe a little more than halfway up the Jordan River. As we will see in this chapter, the men of Jabesh Gilead are saved by Saul and his army from the Ammonites. And it is believed that because of this great deliverance, that they were so thankful to Saul for this, that when Saul eventually died, they made a heroic effort, and they went and they took Saul's body and his and the sons' bodies away from the Philistines, and they gave them a proper burial. You can see that. You can read that in 1 Samuel chapter 31, verses 11 through 13. The men of Jabesh Gilead, they were so thankful for what Saul did to them that when he died, and he was basically taken, his body and his sons' bodies were taken into the temples of the gods of the Philistines. These men, they risked their lives, and they went and they got those bodies and brought them back, and they gave them a proper burial. Yeah, they never forgot what Saul did for them and how he helped them. But the old saying, what goes around comes around, applies to the city of Jabesh Gilead right here. If we go back in history to Judges chapter 21, verses 8 and 9, we see that, the children of Israel, they called for help to go up against the wickedness of the city of Gibeah. And yet not one person came from Jabesh Gilead. Oh yeah, yep. The children of Israel gathered together, and they were going against Gibeah in the tribe of Benjamin's land, and they called and they said, "You come out. We need help." Well, Jabesh Gilead didn't send one person. Because they refused to come and help, they were all killed except 400 young virgins to be saved as wives for the 600 men of Benjamin that were hiding in the caves. So when the children of Israel, after they defeated Gibeah and the Benjaminites, and there was only 600, they completely wiped out the tribe of Benjamin. I mean, they wiped it out. Men, women, child, everything, except for 600 soldiers. That was all that was left of the tribe of Benjamin, 600 soldiers. And then they needed wives for them, and they said, well, which city never sent anybody to this battle? And they said, Jabesh Gilead. Oh, yeah. So they sent the army there, and they wiped that. I mean, they cleaned that city. They killed man, women, and child, and they saved 400 virgins from there. And they took those 400 virgins, and they gave them as wives to these 600 men of Benjamin. Now, although our context is years later, and the people who are now in the city of Jabesh Gilead are all new people, yet now we see the city of Jabesh Gilead this city now is the one that is now crying out for someone to come and to save them. Now they need Israelites to do for them what they didn't do. And that is to respond and to help in a time of need. They were asked to come and help, and they didn't come. Now, many years later, guess what? Jabesh Gilead needs help, and they're sending out a plea for help. Now they're the ones that need help. Now it says here in verse 2, am I in verse 2 or am I in verse 1? I've got to check. I'm still in verse 1. Verse 1 says, it gives the name of Nahash, the king of the Ammonites. Now, his name means serpent or snake. Now, whether this name was given to him by his parents or it may have been a nickname is not known. Now, it seems possible that this is the same Nahash that died, and King David wanted to show kindness to his son Hanun. We see this in 2 Samuel chapter 10, verses 1 and 2. Eventually, after this defeat of the Ammonites, it seems that Nahash becomes friends with King David. I say friends, but I mean there's an acquaintance there. There's they have a relation between the two countries. There's things going on. There's not war. There's not hatred. There's not looking for war or revenge or anything. And so when Nahash dies, David wants to show kindness to Hanun because Nahash had shown kindness to David. So it seems to be the same Nahash. Now, let's read verse 2 and we'll finish in verse 2. And it says here, and Nahash the Ammonite answered them, on this condition will I make a covenant with you, that I may thrust out all your right eyes and lay it up for a reproach upon all Israel. Now, Nahash likes the idea of having a covenant. It would be better to make a covenant than to risk losing men in a war. And it would be much cheaper than besieging the city for months on end. If he can take control of the city and the people simply by making a covenant with them, well then why not? The covenant that Nahash proposes is the removal of all the right eyes of the men. Now, why the right eye? Number one, because it would be a big handicap for men to use the bow and the sword. And number two, it would be a mark of humiliation, and especially as they didn't even try to put up a fight. Nahash could take the city and all of its wealth without even a fight. So of course, Nahash like, why not? But the real humiliation would be that the removing of the right eye would be a reproach against all of Israel, that they were either too weak or too afraid to help, or they just didn't care enough to do anything to help their brother out. It would give other Gentile nations a reason to not only mock the tribes of Israel, but also to consider possibly attacking Israel if the Israelites couldn't fight together. So this taking out of the right eye would be a possible reproach against all the nation. If they don't come and help, well then, maybe if they don't come and help their brothers over there on the other side of the Jordan River, then maybe I can attack from the north or attack from the south, and nobody will come and help them either. So I can have free access into the land of Israel and take some of the cities. Why not? Now, these first two verses of chapter 11 are a picture of how God's people will never, listen, we will never be able to make a covenant of peace with this world without suffering some kind of loss. This world system is more than willing to make a covenant with you if you will be willing to remove your spiritual eyesight. You remember that. You remember that. Christians should never seek friendship with this world. 1 John chapter 2 verses 15 to 17. Don't love the world. Until the day we die, we are always in a war against the evil forces of this world. This is why we are told to put on the whole armor of God in Ephesians 6, verses 10 through 18. We're in a war till the day we die. Do not be tempted by the pleasures and the enticements of this world to cause you to sell out anything that you have from God. You will. Listen, for us, for any Christian to make some kind of a covenant, make some kind of an agreement with this world system, you will lose your spiritual eyesight. You're going to lose something for sure. Absolutely. You can't make a bargain with the devil and come out on the good end of it. No. His bargains are to take away your power and your strength with God. All right, we're going to continue on in verse 3 next lesson. But until then, walk with the Lord. I know He walks with you.